So, welcome back to East End Park, Stephen. It's nice to see you.
That's nice to see you as well. Nice to be back.
You've signed in with us in July 2012 and you were here for 2 seasons and it was Jim Jeffries that signed you. So, you had been playing down at Blackpool, so how did the move up here come about?
Obviously, my agent being Blaine Morgan, I think had a few connections at the club and stuff. And Neil McCann was working with Jim Jeffries at the time, and so I played with Neil at Hearts. When Neil had done his knee, he was reserve team manager, so he knew me quite well. So I just came up and I came in on a trial basis and obviously impressed and managed to sign.
Mm-hmm. But you had already been with Dunfermline when you had been a youngster.
I had been when I was a youngster as well, but I was here for 2 years as well. At that stage it seems to be my unlucky number. And I was let go, so it was good to get back because I always had ambitions to play for the first team.
Mm-hmm. How did you fit into the team here? You know, was it easy to fit in with the guys that were here at that time?
I knew quite a lot of them through different areas and meeting people, and I knew quite a lot of them anyway, so I felt quite comfortable coming in. It was a good squad, it was a really experienced squad, so it was a challenge to myself, but I managed to get in the team and do quite well.
Mm-hmm. First season you scored 11 goals, not so many in your second season. Were any of those goals that you particularly enjoyed?
I think fans will like this one, probably the Raith Rovers ones. They scored the double down there, and I think the volley, I think it was against Arbroath. I think that was one of the better ones as well. But no, every goal's a good goal, especially the good crowds that you get here. So.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any particular method in taking your penalties and free kicks that you took for us? Was there anything that you thought of before you took them?
Towards the end of the first season, my only thought was score or Jim Jeffries is going to kill me. That was my only thought. But no, it was just a case of getting. It was a vital 3 points every week for us. In the second half of that season, we'd lost a lot of players and had a lot of young boys in, so probably needed someone a bit older to step up, and I was happy to do that. Missed a couple as well through my time, but that happens. Mm-hmm. Free kick wise, probably I think a few of the boys knew I used to keep aside. Keepers always used to think I was going over the wall. I used to get away with it quite a lot, but I had plenty more time to practice. Nowadays I don't get so much of that, so I've got to try it the hard way and go over the wall.
The first season when you were here, we ended up in the playoffs against Forfar, and it was your goal up there that, because we had been getting beat 3-0 at one time, and your goal kind of gave us something to hang on to and to bring back to East End Park. Did you feel that that was important?
I think that was a massive goal. We'd played terrible up there. I think the boys would agree with that. We'd let everyone down, including ourselves, fans. The manager, the way we set up, was never to play like that, and we got punished in the night 3-0. And you start to just feel sorry for yourselves, and then we grabbed that goal towards the end, and the bus journey was a sort of mixed, and we back down. It was only 2 goals, and we had been down goals before in games, and we come back and we knew if we just got a goal and got off to a good start at East End, then we can get ourselves right back in it, and we managed to do that, and it turned things right around. It seems like a vital goal now.
Mm-hmm. And the second leg here, obviously Forfar had 3 players sent off. Had you ever played in a game that had happened?
It was crazy, and I don't know. I don't think they can complain about the sendings off. But you almost felt sorry for them at the time, because you can see them getting deflated, and we were rampant on that day. We just wanted to get the ball in the net, and we had a real fire about us. But as I say, they got men sent off. I think the first one was a last man, which I don't think if referees given the penalty for it, it's a sending off, and the Michael Dunlop's challenge was, could have got arrested for that. And then the last one, Ian Campbell, obviously with his big mouth, he got him sent off as well. So, but we had a job to do that day, and I think the important thing for us was we stuck to our job, and we never got involved in it. We kept our discipline, and we managed to get the win and get through.
And then we had the disappointment of playing in the final and losing out and still being in this division.
I think the boys still had a bit of belief with obviously we're getting beat away, and we thought, well, we've turned it around before, but Alice set up well, and they played well. They set to their game plan. Their game plan paid off in the day, even though we won, it just wasn't enough. We scored too late in the day. Probably if we get a goal a bit earlier, probably changes Alice's mindset and probably sit back a bit, but it wasn't to be.
Mm-hmm. Your second season here, it wasn't, probably from your point of view, it wasn't as good a season. Do you think that there was anything that you know happened that season that made it not as prolific as the season before?
I don't know. It just didn't seem to go for me for the offset. I think I was suspended for the first few games, and then I got suspended again before I was even back in the team. Which and obviously you see the quality boys like Andy Geoghegan and Josh, and they're still here, still good players, and you struggle to get in that, and then you've got Sean Byrne coming through, and I found it difficult to get back in the team. And then when I did, I kept my place for a while, and then fell back out. It was just one of the things where I was in and out probably a bit too much for my liking. So yeah, it's just have to take it and do your best, try to get back in the team, and take the chance when you get it.
When you left at the end of the season, I mean, what was the reason that you left? Was it a case of you weren't offered a contract, an extended contract, or did you decide to leave, or was the offer not good enough?
It's a bit a strange one. The offer that was made, it wasn't really an offer that was made. It made it clear he wanted his budget freed up for a striker, which was important. He had midfielders signed, Josh and Giggs, Shawnee and stuff. They were all under contract, but I had a chance to speak to him about a new deal when I just got back in the team at the time, and it was actually when Giggsy and Josh had been getting taken out and that for when they weren't signing contracts. There was a bit going on behind the scenes, and I didn't want to get into that boat, so I decided just to wait to the end of the season to speak about my deal, and I decided just to get back in the team and concentrate on the football, which I understood. But it became towards the end of the season then he had his eyes on different things and wanted money for so the deal that was there was never really a deal that was there. It was a token gesture, to be honest, and a sign I was never going to be able to sign. So that's why I had to move on and go to different places.
Mm-hmm. And you went to Forfar, and then you were the villain because you scored a goal against us up there.
Well, that's one of the things. Old players come back to haunt teams, which felt bad, but Forfar, we were concentrating on going for the league ourselves. We had a really good season. For the facilities up there and what that club do, I can't speak highly enough for what they've done, and it was a great achievement to finish second with the teams that was in that league. I think I made third finish, but no, I had obviously a different mindset, and I was focused on getting Forfar the 3 points that day.
Did you enjoy your time at Forfar?
I did, yeah. It was a bit frustrating again. I was in and out. Obviously, I played the first half of the season constant, and then I was out for a little while and then back in. And just one of the things where it was just different from different players and transitions and stuff. And yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. It was good.
So you're now playing with Celtic Heart, and I believe you scored a hat-trick last weekend.
There's a first for everything in Miracles hat. That's all I can say.
Were they good goals?
All three of them, yeah. All three of them. All three of them were great. I'm not going to tell you they were rubbish, will I? I'm going to obviously tell you they're brilliant. They're off for 40 yards as well.
That far?
No,
what made you go down that route then, to go junior?
I think, well, since I was 16, I've been full-time and football's all I've knew. And then it got to the stage where part-time was the road I took, and I just didn't see how a career was going to develop for me doing this type of thing. I stayed in Scotland, and I decided to try and get my head into doing something long term. So I decided to get myself into college. I was going to go down and do engineering and just stay part-time and do that. But I spoke to Kelty, the chairman. He was a company conservative converters, so he said to me he'd put me through my joinery instead. So I was quite keen on that anyway, and then on the basis I signed for Kelty, I was quite happy to do that. The facilities Kelty's got, and they're up there with the very best. They're really good for. I don't think you find better in junior. And it's a great bunch of lads, which I knew quite a lot of them, all a few ex-seniors as well. So I was more than happy to sign and just get back to enjoying football again, and have a career behind me and have no worries off the field, and didn't have to worry about that going to college and funding and all that stuff that people have to worry about. So that was I made that decision, and I'm quite happy with it.
Do you still look out for the score at East End Park?
There's always 2 scores I check, well 3 actually. I always check Man United, Dunfermline and Hearts. It's 3 teams that I've got a soft spot for, so they're the 3 teams that I always look out for. So I've been quite happy this year.
And, well, maybe not Man United.
No Man United boys, no.
Do you still keep in touch with some of the boys?
I still speak to them quite regularly. Shawnee, I keep in touch with quite a lot, and Josh and Giggs in the odd time. I speak to quite a lot of the boys that's left. I'm still in touch with them, the younger boys.
How do you look back on your time at East End Park? Do you have any regrets?
No, not at all. I was part of probably the most difficult time in Dunfermline's history. It was a tough time, and I was proud to be a part of it and put my efforts in to try to keep the club up. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be. Things could have been a lot different, but no, I was proud, and proud to share a dressing room with the boys I shared it with, and the journey we all went on together, and even taking it outside the dressing room, the fans and support and what everyone that's taken over the club's done. It's been a great effort by everyone, and I was proud to be a part of that for even such a short period.
Well, it was lovely to see you again, Steve, and thanks for speaking to us.
No problem, anytime.